You got it.
First and foremost, you guys, I always look at the leadership scoreboard. If you're not looking at the scoreboard, you're already losing, right? They say don't compare, compete. And what happens for me is when I look at the scoreboard, I get excited about up and coming personal producers and people who are building a team. That's exciting to see that, right? So I just want to highlight a couple of people that joined us this morning. Okay, first and foremost, Jan Lee and team killed it last month. We were doing training and I was telling her, remember what you did to hit 30 by 30,000, right? It's not, it takes work to hit 30 by 30,000, right? I remember writing 30 by 30,000 as a goal, and we have not done that consistently. So I was telling Jen, you hit it, now go back and do it again and remember what you did. And she was telling me that the players aren't the ones that pushed it. There were another set of players that are up and coming that pushed it. That's exciting because guess what? Now you can double it. That's exciting. So they did 30 by 32,838. Jen Lee wrote 11,000 in personal production. She made 11,000 in income. Come on, y'all, just turned 30. Are you kidding me? Graduated from Penn State, okay? Joey, 8,500 personal and made 3,500 in income. Between the two of them, that's like 15,000. That's half of it right there. So what does that tell us? How exciting to know that two people did half of the 30,000. It's work. It's work ethic, right? It's writing it down every day and going after it. It's the activity. I remember one day, and I shouted out to the team, our team, Jen Lee's team is killing it today. I don't know how many apps did y'all get that day in recruits. It was ridiculous. It was like, I wanted to literally throw my phone. I'm like, what is going on? What did y'all do that day?
We brought 6 by 4,000 in. No, 6 by 5,000 in.
Come on. They beat most people's base shop in one day. Come on, y'all. That is so exciting. And guess what? We're gonna learn today, right? We're gonna learn today. We have access to Jen Lee in the standard hierarchy. That's amazing. So I'm so excited about them. So today we're going to talk about recruiting the client and building their business. So Gabrielle posted a audio on our thread, How I Did It by Hector Lamarck. And Hector Lamarck was speaking on going on appointments. And what he said was, most people think I talk a lot about closing when I go on appointments. He said, no, right? I talk about recruiting the client. Ding, ding. And then he said, leaders, what you focus on grows. What you focus on, your team focuses on, right? So for me, I have to get back in the lab and chisel at myself. So I said, you know what? We do focus on appointments, but how often do I instill recruiting the client? I do, but not the way he's speaking about it. So this is exciting. I'm so excited to really, really hone in on recruiting the client and do the things we need to do and ask the proper questions to recruit the client. All right, Jen, you want to pull up the presentation?
Yes.
I'm excited about that, you all, because we all know that most clients are the type of people that we want to have on our team. I know for myself, when Shaq sat down and I had a whole life policy, that's what told me. Oh, my bad. I didn't make you host it. My bad. That's what really did it. I had a whole life policy through Liberty Mutual, and I also had a Gerber Life on my son. And T had nothing. That's how ignorant we were. We knew nothing about life insurance. Okay, so I got excited to know that a lot of people didn't have this information, and we needed to get out there and teach about this information. And that's what did it, right? And it wasn't until my mom passed away that I really became a crusader, because it's like no one has this information. No one is teaching us this stuff, right? So let's talk about from recruiting the client to building a business. Let's talk about the mentality, right? Because it is a mentality when you recruit the client. Like I said, most people say sales, 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 close, 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 get the app. Yes, we do want to get the app. We do want to get the client. We know that. However, are we recruiting the client, right? Clients are 50% recruited. They know what we do, right? Immediately, they're 50% in because they've given you a routing number and account number. Now they're a client, so they know exactly what it is that we do, right? Life insurance is one of the easiest ways to transfer wealth to our survivors. Treating it as a necessity is extremely important. We educate. So as we're going through the presentation, we want to get the client excited about knowing this information and spreading the word. That's important, right? I ask people, if you know that I had a loved one who had cancer and you had the cure for cancer, wouldn't you tell me? They say, of course I would. Absolutely. This is the same thing. So we want to get our clients excited, right, about helping and educating other people that they know and they like and trust. People join more if they know the business is simple. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what KISS stands for, right? They know we're just reading slides and we're inserting stories and we're asking questions. It's not complicated. It's a matter of will. That's it. You're just reading through the slides, you all. That's all it is. And asking the proper questions to recruit our clients. It's very simple. And once you have it down, it's like riding a bike. You don't have a business if no one is showing up. If you look behind you and no one is showing up, or if you look on Zoom in this case and no one is on Zoom with you, you don't have a business. And that's okay. That's okay. I remember I told our team there was 9 months we did 0 by 0 and no one was showing up but myself. And I was sitting in the back. I remember that. I was sitting in the back by myself, 0 by 0. And one day I just got tired. I was like, you know what? This is ridiculous. I got tired of it, right? Then I started personally producing, started making money, staying in business until I built a business. That's important, right? So if you don't have anyone showing up, you got to learn how to force yourself to create something to get on appointments and speak to people, just opening your mouth. I wasn't opening my mouth, you all. I wasn't speaking to anyone, right? I wasn't doing anything. Leverage leadership, putting your people in front of the best people. Just like when you were a trainee and had to put your qualified appointments in front of your trainer. This is important. I remember we were getting trained by Shaq. We went on about 22 appointments, and more than half of them became clients, and probably about 6 of them became recruits. We threw everybody in front of Shaq. That's how excited we were. I mean, everyone. When Shaq came to a family function, he's like, man, I pretty much sat with everyone here. Absolutely, because we believed in what it was and we wanted to teach other people. So you have to make sure, right, that you're putting your trainer, if you're new and you're not a soloist or a trainer yet, that you're putting your trainer in front of everyone. And that's one of the things that Hector Lamarck said. He said, when my trainee put me in front of people, that they saw me recruiting my clients. They saw it. So as trainers, we have to make sure, right, that we're duplicating that process by making sure that we're performing when we train the trainee. Leverage environment. Environment is caught, not taught. It's caught. When Jen Lee gets on and teaches top notch, catch it. It is a wave. Catch it. I mean, catch it, right? These things are caught. They are. Something clicks. You catch it. You get it. Now you go for it. That's what happens, right? 9 months, 0 by 0. Something happened. Now, it shouldn't take 9 months though, y'all. That's ridiculous. That's embarrassing for me to even say that out loud, right? 9 months, to each his own. But I got it. I caught it, right? Jen?
Yes, guys.
Mentality. We're going back and forth.
Yeah, we're going back and forth. By the way, Shay, there's a clicking noise in your background.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I saw nobody else was unmuted this time, so it's us.
Is it still there? But there's nothing clicking.
When you were talking, there was clicking, but it's okay.
Oh, it's probably my bracelet.
Oh, your bracelet wants some part of it. So, hey guys, listen, when you get into attendance and recruiting people, it's not just recruiting people just to submit an IBA to get credit. You got to make sure that you're recruiting real people to a real business and with the intention of getting them productive, right? But they're not going to be productive unless they show up. And the only way that they're going to make money or learn how to make money here is learn how to get on the appointments, do the appointments, and then teach the appointment, right? So first of all, let's talk about the 3-headed mantra that Shay always talks about. This is the exact process of how to recruit the client, literally in order. So keeping it simple, stupid, book the QA. That's a will issue, right? You don't need to have a skill set to learn how to pick up the phone. Let's just put it simple as that way, right? It's either you pick up the phone or you don't pick up the phone. Going on the QA and doing it is a skill issue or a skill set you have or you don't have. We can fix the skill issue, that can be taught, but we're not going to be able to fix a will issue. If somebody's not willing to, if they're not willing to call you back, if they're not willing to show up, if they're not willing to be accountable, if they're not willing to do all that, they are not going to even be able to learn the skill set to go in the QA. Because anything that a trainer says to a trainee is not going to be as bad as the trainee getting pummeled by the client. Anybody who knows. If you've been in the appointment, you know. It's a whole different story when you're doing the appointment versus watching your trainer, right? So book the appointment, go on the appointment, and then close the appointment. That's how you make the money. If you're willing to book the appointment, you got the skill set to do the appointment, go on the appointment, then you can make cash like Joey did. And I just want to say something really quick. And I know we keep saying this. I don't want Joey to give us a big head, and I know she won't. But Joey, I asked her, I was like, hey, what do you take home from your job? Shay, did I tell you how much Joey takes home from her job, her full-time job, that she works like 60, 80 hours a week?
You did.
2,600 a month. And she just made 3,500 working 5 hours a week, guys. Think about what I just said. She went on, Joey, how many appointments did you go on all month in April?
12. I booked
12.
20. I think it was 12. Yep.
Okay, you booked 20. Listen to this. She booked 20. She went on 12, so 50%, and she made 3,500, which is literally on a 50% contract.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. You booked 20 appointments, Joey?
You're on mute, Joey.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You are on the spotlight, and yes, feel pressure. Pressure forms diamonds, y'all. That's what you say.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So I'm sorry. They need to hear this. Who were those appointments that you booked? Who were they, and who did you recruit? Were any of them clients? We got to break this down. I'm sorry, Jen. We got to hear this. This is important.
Yeah.
So I booked. I did both. I did from my personal sheet, and I started going to some of the recruits who fell off sheets as well of their people.
So your warm market and then your recruits warm market.
Yep, well, former recruits warm market, especially recruits whose warm market that I personally know.
Okay, so just warm market.
Yep.
Come on, warm market. That's the answer. That's awesome. Yeah. Great job. Phenomenal job. Phenomenal. I'm sorry, we needed to know that. I needed to know that from me. Okay, Jen, go ahead.
Yeah, the numbers don't change, right, Shay? So once you close the QA, think about it, guys. Everybody deserves the opportunity. You only owe people two things: an opportunity and a great example. Then you invite the QA, right? The person, the client, to Shaq's webinar, or send an animated video, whatever your process is, and then set the follow-up for immediately after them watching it, right? Unless you have a live Zoom party, yes, definitely live Zoom parties, and Shay can talk about that. But we always love to invite the QA or the client to Shaq's webinar, or put them in front of Shaq, because why wouldn't we put them in front of the best person available? Think about it, right? If you think about you as a person, I ask the new person all the time in a fast start meeting, you think about you as a new person, Mr. New Recruit, you deserve to hear from the best person possible about any opportunity, don't you? So you don't deserve to hear from the newest person that doesn't have all the answers to your questions, do you? That means you as the newest person don't need to explain everything either. I'll do everything for you, and Shaq will do everything for you. So we just have to invite your people to Shaq, to put them in front of Shaq, to his webinar, to his meeting. So of course we want to invite them to Shaq's webinar, or if you guys are doing live Zoom parties in front of your RVP, I know Shay does it, and then recruit them right after. But once you recruit them, you want to set the expectation so you get them to show up and tell stories to reel in the client in joining your business, because some people, they're not going to be able to relate to you directly. Okay. I more than ever now, and I think it's because I'm 30 now, there's more people with kids in my age bracket. I've gotten to that point, Shay, where I can put on the survey, I'm not 25 to 29, I'm 30 to 34. So, but now I'm not a mom, so what, I'll point to Suge, I'll point to Shay, I'll point to Joey, right? If somebody says they're not their mother and I don't understand something, oh, let me tell you about Shay real quick. Let me tell you about Suge real quick. Let me tell you about Joey real quick, right? Tell stories to relate to your client so you can attract them into the business. And Shay, can you tell us about the live Zoom parties?
Yes, so we also do Shaq's webinar and animated videos. However, we do a every other Tuesday we do a Black Wealth Matters, and a lot of the times in the Black community, this obviously this information is null and void. No one knows about this, so I hone in on the fact that when people pass away, I know it's in every culture, but I see it a lot in our culture. GoFundMe, right? So I talk about that. And I want to reel them in on how we can close the racial wealth gap, right? Because we're tired of seeing GoFundMes, barbecues, fish fries, chicken platter dinners, selling t-shirts to bury our loved ones. See, when I think of a GoFundMe, and this is what I tell them, when I think of a GoFundMe, I think of it for my daughter's cheerleading competition. We want to raise money to travel. When I think of GoFundMe, I think of it for my son's football team. We want to raise money for the university, not to bury my mom, not to bury my dad, my uncle, my niece, my nephew, my cousin. That's irresponsible, right? We want to be responsible. We want to educate and do the proper things to bury our loved ones, because listen, it's not if we go, it's when we go. And I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Client, we're gonna die. It's inevitable. We're all gonna go. Someone you know is gonna go. You're gonna go. I'm gonna go, right? So we want to know. And then there's a flip side to that. We live too long. We want to make sure we have enough money to live to and through retirement. And we want that money to outlive us so we can create generational wealth. Does that make sense? See, now we're planting seeds and we're speaking on different things that people have not heard of. They haven't heard of it spoken like this. No, nobody wants to speak about life insurance. I understand that. I don't want to talk about life insurance, but I do want to talk about protecting my income when I go for my children. You see the difference? For my daughter and my son, I don't want them to have to worry financially. I don't want that burden on my children. When I go, I want to make sure, yes, they'll have problems, but money is not one. And understand, Mr. and Mrs. Client, right? The income we bring in, that leads to options and choices. Would you agree with that? Absolutely. So I want to instill in them, Jen, why we're doing these live Zooms. And I want them to hear the passion, the stories, and kind of get out of the Primerica mode on the Black Wealth Matters. You know what I mean? Just kind of really just go on about our culture and what we need to do on that. So that live Zoom party for us is very important. Then Donald does one on Thursday where he goes over Primerica and clients and recruiting things of that nature. So all of those ways, you all, there's no wrong way to do it. We just got to get them in. However we can relate to the client to get them in, we want to get them in. Because remember, clients are 50% recruited, Jen.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are listening to everything that Shay's saying, all I hear is consistency, right? She's not switching it up or anything like that. For as long as quarantine, maybe half of quarantine has started, correct me if I'm wrong, Shay, you've been doing this Black Wealth Matters live Zoom party for maybe half of it, or if not more, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you didn't do it for like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, no guests, and then stop. You kept going and kept going and kept going. So some people, they try something and then they stop. They're expecting the popcorn to still pop once they stop the microwave and take it out, right? You don't want to do that. You don't want to put the water on the stove and it hasn't even started boiling yet. It just got a little bit hot. You got excited because it got hot, but then you turn the stove off. That doesn't make any sense. So what Shay's doing, and the reason why it's working, is because she's been consistent, guys, right? It's a tool. She's using it, and it's just an option. You don't have to use everything, and everything doesn't work all the time. But if you're going to do something, do it consistently, and that way you have some type of ratio, guys, okay? Shay, you can go over this and I'll go over attendance.
All right, awesome. So this is the area that for me, I know I must get better at, right? And I don't know about you, I'm gonna be very transparent. Don't rush the appointment, right? Especially, you know, when you have back-to-back appointments and you wanna hurry up and get off this one to get to the next one. This here, top-notch family, this is important. Make sure you get these questions down because I'm going to be asking, did you ask the questions? This is important, right? This is how we're going to get our personal recruiting up and our team recruiting up, recruiting our clients. Questions to ask. Was anything I went over today complicated to understand? This is big. You're setting the tone right here. You want to get that momentum to recruit them because once they answer these questions, now we going in, right? Was anything I went over today complicated to understand? How much talking did trainee do? How much talking did Jen do? This is amazing right here because I remember you all being in training, right? And Shaq doing all the work. I don't know about you all, but when he got that routing and account number, I was so excited. I'm like, oh, it's going down. This is easy. And that's what you want the client to be saying. Oh, this is easy. I can do this. That's what I was thinking. I didn't say anything. I let my coach do all the work. I was just taking notes. Boom, getting excited. Like, yes, he's collecting checks. I'm going to collect checks. When I get this license, I'm going in. How much talking did the trainee do? How long have we really been meeting? Hour and 15 minutes? Not long, right? That's huge. That is so big because guess what? What you can make on one appointment and recruiting that client by far trumps the job, by far. Right. And when they see how much you can make on that appointment versus how long it would have taken them to make it on their job, game over. Did you feel great about the education we provided? This is it. Did you feel great about the education we provided? How much do you think they paid me to train Jen and do a great job with you? Right. So listen, on your job, do they do this? Absolutely not. Right. On your job, do they have that much confidence? Absolutely not. They're scared. Absolutely not. Let them guess and show your compensation. Then calculate how many hours it takes them to make that at their job. So you just heard Jen Lee said Joey's compensation on her job is, you said 2,600, I think you said, Jen? And
yeah, after taxes.
After taxes, 2,600, and she made 3,500. You said working 5 hours a week in Primerica. That's 20 hours, you all. And Joy, you work 40 hours on your job, 40 hours a week?
I get paid for 40, but I probably work more like 60.
Okay, come on, y'all. Y'all heard that, right? Works more like 60 after taxes, makes 2,600 and made 3,500 in Primerica and worked 5 hours a week. And recruited 6 people. All right. If I can show you how to make $500 in an hour and a half versus 60 hours at your job, would that interest you? Who in the world would say no? Right? If I was to train you, teach you, and mentor you to help you reach your goals and dreams, is there anything at all that would stop you from trying? Is there anything at all that would stop you from trying? If you had the opportunity to make more money and build a legacy for your family without it interfering with what you are currently doing, is there any reason why you wouldn't give your family a shot at financial freedom? This is big because guess what? Even if they don't want to build a business, you all, you can help them put a plan together to get out of debt, properly protect their income and save for retirement and lead them to financial freedom, right? There are several different ways we can do that. Building a business, retirement, right? When they pass away, life insurance, generational wealth to their family. These questions right here, I am going to get this so down. I'm going to recruit all of my clients. That's my mentality. That's my expectation, right? This is so important, you all. This is what the West Coast does. This is all Eric has talked to me about, recruiting your clients, right? What did Tanya Poe, fresh $1 million earner, number 116. What did she do? She went on an appointment. She got him as a client. She told him how much she was going to make. And then boom, he turns off the Laker game. Boom, recruits him. His first month, he made 4,500. He earned over $1 million before she did. Recruit your clients, y'all. Recruit the client. That's where it's at. Jen, you want to add to that?
So, you know, Shay going over this is, it's crazy that, you know, Shay recognizing our team is such a big deal to me because I know how far we've gone as a team, not even including some of the teammates like Joey wasn't even around to see things we had to go through. And I had to ask Shay a bunch of questions about recruiting the client and how to set the appointment and all that. So everything these questions are questions that we ask in the field. I ask in the field because I watch Shaq and I watch Shay in training and how they said things, their demeanor. And when I go in, and I was just talking